Hello and welcome to Q&A Friday on this lovely, sunny, warm Friday, the 20th of June 2025. Hello. Oh. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes, and this is Let Me Bore You to Sleep, or LMBYTS. So, just want to say a big welcome to the Jason Newland's Boring Group 2, to Kerry and Julie. Ironically, there's two Julies, exactly the same name. Joined at different times. But, yeah. What have I got? So, Mike posted a comment. He asked me, you mentioned recently that the heat was getting to you. How hot has it been there recently? It's been pretty hot. It's, I really felt it just now, because I've just been out with Vinny, and what is it? It's 3:35, so I got home about a half hour ago, maybe a little bit longer. It didn't feel particularly hot out, warm, but I didn't, but then I sat down, I was like, whew. But I think that's because I have more clothes on now than I had when I went out. Let me explain. I actually wore shorts. I know. But I wore shorts. Not something that I normally do pretty much ever. But I did. I wore shorts, and it's so much nicer than these blue tracksuit bottoms that have got holes in them. Yeah, I have to make a change to the old tracksuit bottoms, but that will come in time. Next week I'm going to buy some new ones, a new pair, and yeah. So what's happening? I had a shower. I didn't have a shave because I am charging my razor up, so I didn't have a shave or a trim. I've been trying to keep everything trimmed. When I say everything, I'm talking about my face, and trying to keep my beard the same length as my hair on my head, kind of the same, very short but the same length. But I've let it go probably over a week now, so I was trimming it at least twice a week, but I've let it grow a little bit. So I'm gonna, when my razor's charged, I'm gonna have a little go, have a little play with it, and see if I can get it sorted out. So yeah, it's been hot all over the place apparently. The heat does bring out the yawns in me. It really does. Apparently yawning's very therapeutic. From a psychological perspective, it produces certain, I was going to say hemorrhoids then, not hemorrhoids, I don't know, hormones or whatever that make you feel relaxed. Hemorrhoids. I got hemorrhoids on the brain. I hope I haven't, blimey. It just lets you understand where my brain's kept. So, just been watching the Parliament channel. Well, actually I've been watching the main news. A big thing's just happened. A big new law has just come through in the UK, which some people will be happy about, some people I guess won't be. There's always, there's going to be different people believing different things, but I'm not going to go into it, but I wish that had been around for my friend back in the late 90s. But there you go. There is a bit of background sound, bit of background music downstairs. So I don't know if you can hear it or not. Nothing I can do about it. And I can sit here and not make a recording, or I can sit here and make a recording. And I'd rather sit here and make a recording, because otherwise I'm sitting here just listening to that music. And it's loud to me. It's not that loud really, but it's... If I had a TV on, I could probably cover it up. But I'm not really in the mood to watch TV, really. I'm kind of... I'm dedicated, you see. I'm dedicated to making the Q&A Fridays every Friday, which I've been doing for over a year now. Blimey, over a year. Can you believe it? Over a year. I'm just going to have a look. How many Let Me Bore You to Sleeps have I done? The last one I did was... Last Let Me Bore You to Sleep I did was yesterday, number 1379. That's quite a lot, isn't it? Quite a lot. I actually have already done 2 recordings today. One was a deep sleep whisper one, and another one was a relaxation hypnosis for stress, number 243. The deep sleep whisper hypnosis 538. There's a lot of recordings. I'm not sure if my mouth is too far away from the microphone, but I hope it's alright. I kind of think it's a little bit more of an echo. Not an echo, but a bit more... My voice is a bit more high-pitched when it's the microphone is... I mean, I'm not the other side of the room from the microphone. Should I just show you what it sounds like if I move it a bit closer? That was too close. I think that's right. Okay, I moved it a bit. Could you understand what I said? I said I want some pizza. Right. Trying to think. I can't think of any other things to really update you on, really. So I just suppose I'll just get on with the questions. Ooh. Oh, my goodness. So I got 4 questions. So it's not many, but it's more than last week. Oops, just banged the microphone. Sorry. So I've got questions from Hope, Tammy, Ing, and Ali. So, what's the first question? What did I do yesterday? I'm sure I did something or did something today. I don't know if you can hear all the screaming in the garden. It's summer. The windows are open. People are out enjoying the summer. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not really. I mean, I can't really, can I? It's just like people can have fun and stuff. Just because I'm a I'm a miserable old man, miserable old git, sitting in my flat, making podcasts, instead of running around on the grass screaming. You know, it's each to their own, isn't it? So Hope says, what is your favourite animal? Or asks, what is your favourite animal and why? I would probably... So I'd break that up into 3 categories. Because there's my favourite animals. See, I know birds are animals, but I like birds. I just really like birds. Even small birds, all the way up to, golden eagles and falcons, and especially birds of prey. I love watching them flying around. We have falcons and we have buzzards and stuff. We don't have, as far as I know, there's no golden eagles in this country. But there are no barriers to stop birds from all over the world coming here. There's no borders. They can just fly where they want, can't they? So if a golden eagle wanted to, for whatever reason, come and fly and spend time in my town, then it could if it wanted to. But we don't get flamingos. I think some birds is a limit to how far they're willing to fly or can fly. But at the same time, I don't know if that's true. I made it up. Because flamingos might actually fly for thousands and thousands of miles. Maybe 20,000 miles. And there's flamingos in America. And America, what is it? 8,000 miles away from here? It's not that far away. Maybe is it 8,000? Maybe less, 4,000, 5,000 miles away. So maybe flamingos can come here, but they choose not to, because it's not really their scene. Now you get seagulls everywhere, all over the world, don't you? So they've clearly travelled around, but they don't need to. I sometimes think maybe they just travel, they just like, because they can hitch lifts, can't they, on boats and stuff. So a seagull doesn't even have to fly across the ocean. It can just sit on one of the sails, because we all still use sails on ships, don't we? Like the 1800s. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like the pirate days. Why is it that pirates, they're just not as cuddly as they used to be, are they? Remember the pirates of the old days would be like Kirk Douglas. They'd maybe have a patch on their eye, but they might have a hook on their hand, but they'd be gritty, they'd be tough, but they'd still be quite gentle at times. I don't know, I'd look at Captain Hook sometimes, in Peter Pan, or Neverland, or whatever you want to call it, and I just look at him and I thought, yeah, he's a tough man. Clearly he's had a difficult life and scavenging, and he's had to keep all of his people in his crew in touch and make sure that everyone does what they're supposed to do, and running a ship's not easy, so he comes across as a very tough man. But underneath that, the big beard and the hat and the eye patch and the old parrot on his shoulder and the hook for a hand, I could kind of get a sense that he's a considerate lover. I just kind of got that. He was a gentle, very gentle. It's like, you'd think, well, what could he do if he wasn't a pirate? And I would say possibly be a carer. But some would laugh, say, no, Captain Cook, that can be a carer. But I got that sense when I looked at him. I thought, there's some compassion there. Because people who have been through a lot know what it's like, so they kind of they know. There's that, I think there's that part that wants to help others. That's what I got from Captain Cook. Now the modern day pirates don't seem to be as cuddly, not as lovable as the old ones. Oh, don't know why. What's your favourite animal and why? Talking about pirates, I don't get it. You right, Vince? Right, Vinster? Give me cuddles. That's it. That's alright. That's good boy. Good boy. You just lay there and good boy. I think he's a little bit flustered with his heat. He's got water. It's not like he knows I'm talking about him, don't you? You know that, don't you? The thing is, I bought these TREEEEETS earlier. Yesterday, yeah. And he's eaten nearly all of them already, and they're like nearly £4. I mean, you could get through a pack a day. It's ridiculous. He can't, because I'm not buying a pack a day, but it just seems a shame that he's, because they're like these chicken stick things. He loves them, really loves them, but he gets through them so quickly, so quickly. I want to say a big hi to Ben as well. Again, I know I already mentioned this, but just want to say thank you to Ben for the other day for your kind words. And there was another post here. Where is it? There was another post that I've not read out. I don't know where it is. Let me have a look. Maybe it's there. Zoe, not Zoe. Nope. Do you ever? Oh, what? I'm pretty sure that was weird. I got feedback in my own ear then. I kind of got like fuzzy feedback in my left ear. How weird. Where is it? I had a lovely comment. Hope says LOL. Love the pic. Thank you. That was for yesterday's A Busy Day. That was a good pic. It's a picture of me and Vinny. Vinny's got a hat on and sunglasses. I've got sunglasses. And for some reason, I've got less hair than I actually have at the front. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, can't find it. There was a comment, and it was a lovely comment, and I can't find it. This is one of the problems that I have. Oh, Hope wrote, I love it when you yawn. I get sympathetic yawns, and it helps me feel sleepy. Thank you. There was a particular, maybe it was a message. I'm sure it was a comment, though. And it wouldn't be probably on any other of the... I think, that's gonna wind me up now, not being able to find that. If you posted a comment on my Facebook page and I haven't responded, I apologise, because basically I've been posting so much stuff lately. I've been making a lot of recordings the last few days. But I basically I can't find it. It was about Spotify. I can't. It was about Spotify. I can't find it. Anyway, I do apologise because there were. Natasha. Oh, Natasha. It was Natasha's message. Hi, Natasha. So sorry, I've only just seen this. I've been listening on Spotify, and Jason, you've been a godsend. You've helped me massively with my sleep. Thank you, Natasha. It's very kind of you. Oh, that was welcoming Natasha to the group. That was like from the 15th of June, so that's alright, Natasha. The thing is, because I've got a tendency of keep posting stuff, I lose track of my own recordings. I genuinely do. Dee 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 dee. Ooh ooh, ooh ooh. Whoops. Right, let me go back. So I just lost my place. Right, coming back. I'm going to do the. Do you have any questions? Here we go. Questions. What is your favourite animal and why? If you'd have asked me that 3 years ago, I would have said, well, my instant answer would have been a ferret. It's very hard for me, having this little doggy next to me, to be giving favour over, to a different animal over him. So I feel I need to say, for me, it's not. If I was going to like a particular animal, then it's Vinny and Andre. Although Andre's not with me anymore, but Vinny, he's the one that my favourite animal. But actually, I think what you're asking, Hope, is what is my favourite? Not who is my favourite animal. What is my favourite animal? What type of animal? I wonder if I can send this to the television. This is exciting. Can I? Can I send this to the television? How do I display settings? No, doesn't seem to do it. I can do it on my iPad and my phone, but I don't know if I can do it on the laptop. Right, so favourite animal. I've always had, well, not always, but I've really liked penguins. Because I did a spiritual, not spiritual, what is it called? A dream thing. A dream. To find my dream or my spiritual animal, and a penguin was it. And it was something to do with the tenacity, the never giving up. Some would argue that I'm always giving up, but actually I never give up. I just drop certain things, but I never give up. It's a weird one, hard to explain really. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I've given up a lot of things, but I never give up the most important things, which is this. To me, this is the most important thing, and I would never give up on this little boy here. So, and I hope I'd never give up on myself either. But other things along the road, I used to be quite attached to my hair. I've given up on that now. It's kind of okay, fair enough. I'm follically challenged now, and the fact I keep mentioning it means that I'm not okay with it. But there's certain things you can do. Yeah, I could have I mean, my hair's not that bad that I'd need a hair transplant necessarily, but I could go down that road. I'm not going to. I would never do that. It's not really, it's not me. I understand why some people do, especially maybe some really young people. You know, someone's in their 20s, they might want to go down that road. I'm in my mid-50s. I don't think anyone even looks at me anyway, so no one's going to notice if I'm bald or not bald. I could walk around with, I just covered my head with peanut butter and walk around and no one would probably notice. Maybe because that's how I normally walk around. No, people don't look at me anymore, so... But I'm not sure if they ever did, but at 55, I'm pretty much invisible. But I learned, being invisible does not mean that you can walk through walls. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that. I hurt myself. Not a big fan of seagulls. I do like birds, but seagulls are the ones that I just find them a little bit too much. A little bit like, I don't know what it is. I think they're nice on the beach. You know, the sound of seagulls and the waves and the sea, and that's a nice sound. But I do like the sounds of the birds in the trees, the tree outside here, and that's one of the best things about living here, really, for me. Auditorily, I like the sounds of the birds. I don't ever really get bored with birds. You know, it don't keep me awake. It don't disturb me. I find it very relaxing. Even if it's pigeons, not so much, you know, but one of my best friends is a pigeon, Horace, so I'm not really prejudiced against pigeons, but they can be a little bit demanding sometimes. They're a little bit like, you ever have a friend that will phone you and then just keep phoning you until you answer? They won't take the hint. You know, you change your number and they still find out your number and phone you. You move to a different country, they still find out where you live in. You know, that's what pigeons are like. I mean, Horace has been following me around for about 35 years. So he used to be in Stratford with me. Serious. He did look a lot different back then, though. Half the size. So, favourite animal? Probably ferret. You know, if we're going to move Vinny out of this, dogs are okay. I'm not really a dog person. As good as, maybe it sounds weird considering I've got a dog, but not really. I love dogs are nice, but I'm not like, I like little dogs. I've got a little dog, but I would never want a big dog. It's just not. You know, I had a big dog when I was a kid. I had one of the biggest dogs you could have, a St. Bernard. For the last year and a half or whatever of being at home, when I was at school. So that was, yeah, I don't know, everyone's got their preference, and I like little dogs, even like chihuahuas or poodles, stuff like that. They're the ones. And I know some people wouldn't want to walk around a street with a pink poodle. Like, some men wouldn't want to do that, but I don't care. It's like, there's nothing. I don't find masculinity's got anything to do with whether or not I dye my poodle pink. and put bows in her ears and wear matching outfits with her. And I also wear a collar and walk on all fours. I don't think that determines what kind of a person I am. Or maybe it does. Oh dear. What am I talking about? What's my favourite animal? Oh yeah. I always liked monkeys when I was little. Loved monkeys. See, I grew up in an age, back in the day. There used to be a lot of monkeys about on television. So we had things like PG Tips, there was monkeys on there. There was Clyde, the orangutan, that was on it's on a few movies actually. Every Which Way But Loose, Every Which Way You Can, which was Clint Eastwood. Loved them movies. And also he was in, I think, one of the Cannonball Run movies, maybe both of them. And very likely other things as well. I think he was always called Clyde. See, what those Cannonball Run films did, if anyone doesn't know what a Cannonball Run movie is, I think there was two. I do believe both had Burt Reynolds in them, and he got paid huge amounts of money to make them. I was a big fan of Burt Reynolds. I just think he had the charisma he had on screen was just, I don't know, something about him. It wasn't that he was kind of Oscar-y kind of material. I'm sure he could have, I don't know, he might have won an Oscar, but he just had a really, really nice personality on screen. And my favourites were the Cannonball Run movies that he did, but he also did Smokey and the Bandit as well, didn't he? So, and that was basically, Smokey and the Bandit was almost the same as the Cannonball Run movies. But what the Cannonball Run movies did is they got all the stars of the day all together, or some of the stars of yesterday. You know, all these really, everyone in it was famous pretty much. There was a couple of like newer people. For example, Jackie Chan was in it, and I don't think anyone really outside of the martial arts world knew who Jackie Chan was at that time, because this was the early 80s. He was a big star in the Oriental world, but in America and in the English-speaking world, it was only really people that watched kung fu movies that really would know who he was. And then you had Jaws, Richard Kiel, he was in it. You had Clyde, Dean Martin, I think, was in it. There's like so many famous people in those movies. I'm surprised if they made any money at all, actually. The budget must have been huge. And they were funny as well. It was just slapstick comedy, and it was just a big race. All lots of different people in cars just racing, and there was it Charlie's Angels? A couple of Charlie's Angels was in it as well, I think. And trying to think who else. Yeah, there was loads. I can't think. I was going to say I do have the information in front of me. What am I doing? I can look it up, can't I? What did I call it? Cannonball Run. Cannonball Run cast. So, Cannonball Run cast. Burt Reynolds, Roger Moore, Farrah Fawcett, Dom DeLuise. Okay, so I'm just going to read out the ones that I've heard of. I probably do know him, but I just don't really recognise the name. Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Jackie Chan, Peter Fonda, Bianca Jagger. Okay. I'm just skipping through. There's quite a few that I recognise the faces, but I don't recognise the names. Robert Tesla. He was the. Do you remember Charles Bronson, the Street Fighter? He was the bloke that fought Charles Bronson. Okay, right, so I'm going to go back. If I go to Cannonball Run 2... Okay, there we go. Cannonball Run 2 cast. Let's have a look, see who's in this one. Burt Reynolds again. Dom DeLuise. Dean Martin. So I'm just... Why is that? This is the Cannonball Run 2. Huh? What about Cannonball Run? Sid Caesar. So it's a very famous comedian. Sid Caesar. Tony Danza. Richard Keel. Jaws. Wow. Frank Sinatra. Henry Silver. Doug McClure. I'm saying that like I know who he is. I'm not sure. I think I do. And you've got the rest of the cast. Okay. What about Cannonball Run 1 then? Cannonball Run. So... It may be the same people. So this is Burt Reynolds again. Roger Moore, Farrah Fawcett, Dean Martin. Oh, so it's a lot of the same people then, according to this. Okay. Jackie Chan. I don't know if they're just repeating it. I'm not sure if it is the same people. I'm sure it's different people in different ones. But anyway, there was a lot of famous names, a lot of famous faces from that period. I'm surprised that Knight Rider wasn't in it. And the Incredible Hulk and Wonder Woman, like Lindsay Carter and members of the A-Team. Yeah, I'm surprised about that because they would have all been... Unless the A-Team was a little bit later on. That might have been a little bit later. But they were a great movie. It's just, they were funny, a lot of fun. And Clyde was in there. And he was an orangutan. So yeah, I like monkeys. I quite liked dolphins. I think because, do you remember Flipper, the TV show? Was it Australian or American? I think it might have been Australian. It's like, they call him Flipper, Flipper, do, nothing will see better than me. They call him Flipper, Flipper, da 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 Musket hounds are always ready. Musket hounds are always ready. Ready for somebody. Musket hounds are all for one. I did a story. Yeah. I think I've got them tunes muddled up. I think after living with a ferret for 6.5 years, I just love ferrets. I do. I can't help it. I do. I've never met a puppy or a kitten I didn't want to just hug. They're always cute, and I imagine even like a baby lion is probably cute. I mean, some would probably say, yeah, they're cute when they're big. Okay, go and give it a hug then. Go on. If you think it's very cute and cuddly, go on, give a big kiss. No. I like animals generally. Yeah, I think penguins. I like penguins. Favorite animals? Probably going to go with ferret. Overall. But my favourite animal is, of course, it's Vinny. But I don't really class him as an animal. He's my son. And Andre was my son. I didn't class him as a ferret. But favourite animal? Yeah, I've never had a horse. I think elephants are cool. But I don't know, a bit demanding. Hard work. Yeah, you're limited to what you can do with an elephant. You're limited to where you can go. Yeah. I like dinosaurs. Before anyone says, they don't exist anymore, that dinosaurs don't exist. Okay, well, what's a crocodile? What's a rhinoceros? What's an elephant? They are dinosaurs. They're dinosaurs. If a crocodile isn't a dinosaur, what is it? Those things have been around for millions of years. They are dinosaurs. So there. I won't argue on that one. To me, it's factual, but it might be wrong. I don't know. I feel all animals have kind of got something nice. Deers are nice, like little Bambis. Reindeers, I mean, because obviously they help get presents to everyone around the world in one night. Yeah. But the thing is, yeah, they have one hard night's work, but they get to sleep the rest of the year, don't they? Tammy asks, what is a good way to de-stress in conjunction with your beautiful voice as an addition at night? I'm not sure where to go with that one. I suppose I think if I think it's important to. There's a few things you could do to improve potentially the experience of comfort. Make sure you've got a comfortable bed. Make sure that you're wearing something comfortable. I mean, I know some people don't wear clothes in bed, don't wear anything in bed, but just make sure that you haven't got anything constricting on. Just make sure you're nice and, basically you need to feel comfortable anyway, like physically, so when you lay down in bed, the very least I expect is to just lie down and be supported, but I don't mean like crowd of people clapping. I mean just you feel physically supported by the bed, but enjoy that moment where I lay down. And feel that I can move. So if I want to move to one side or move over the other side, I don't wear a tight top. because sometimes I don't want that constriction. I like to be able to just move freely. So wearing something baggy in bed, I think, can help. Having a decent temperature in the room as well, because I know, I mean, depends where you live in the world. At the moment here, it's quite warm at night, or a bit warmer than normal anyway. But I don't think there's anything to be gained from sleeping in a really cold room in the winter and be under your covers shivering. That's just not very relaxing, I don't think, personally. Another thing is not to go to bed when you're hungry. I've noticed that myself. I did that the other day, and I went to bed and I was hungry. This is going to be a really boring story because I've literally already told you what I'm going to tell you, haven't I? I went to bed hungry. But I noticed, and I thought, well, no, I had something to eat a few hours ago. I don't need to eat anything now. I'll be fine. And I'm laying there, and my stomach's gurgling, and I'm thinking, I'm hungry. I didn't want like a meal. I really didn't. All I needed was just a couple of mouthfuls of breakfast cereal, just to put some food in me. I just needed a little bit of food. Not much. You know, a slice of toast would have done it. But so going to bed, anything that causes discomfort physically, I find, I know I'm kind of going the other way because you're asking me what is a good way, but I'm kind of saying to avoid those things, to prepare so you don't have physical discomfort. And maybe another way to help yourself relax before going to bed, before going to sleep, maybe a bath or a shower, but slow. You know, no rushing about. There's, you know, if you look online, there's a lot of articles saying that maybe keep away from blue screens, which would be like a laptop or a mobile phone or iPad, for maybe an hour before you go to sleep, because it stimulates part of your brain that maybe you don't want to be stimulated. But I don't think that works. I mean, it's going to affect different people different ways. I've looked at a computer screen, gone to sleep straight away, so it doesn't really necessarily affect me in that way. I do get eye strain, but that's just a separate thing sometimes. If other things you could do, so if there's something on your mind, maybe it's something you need to do tomorrow, and you lie down in bed and you're thinking, oh, I've got to do that thing, and you start thinking, oh, am I going to remember it? Then it's worth just getting up and writing it down. Maybe have a little, you know, pen and pad, or pencil and pad or something, and you can just write it down. Just remember to have a vasectomy, or whatever it was that you were trying to remember, and just stick that on a piece of paper, so that when you wake up in the morning you can look at it and think, oh great, and then you haven't got to think about it. Other things, I suppose, if there's something really, 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 really important that you need to do, and you kind of know, or you feel that if you don't get that accomplished, you're gonna struggle. You might struggle to just fall asleep easily, because you'll be concerned because you'll only have to do it tomorrow and stuff. So maybe think ahead of time and get that done. Perhaps it's a phone call that you need to make before 6 p.m. and you can't do it after 6. Maybe it's a bill or something, maybe sort of prioritize that thing so that's one less item to be concerned about. Ultimately, I would say that I was talking to a dog walker the other day about what I try and get across in these podcasts. I don't know if I'm successful at all in doing it. I try and get across the idea of getting yourself in that state of mind where you don't care about anything. And I really do understand that that's a state that some people refuse to get into. Some people just, because it is like, no, but I do care. Like, it's not about not caring. It's about not caring for the period of time that you're relaxing. And there's arguments. I can kind of see different sides of it, like, easier said than done, but that's kind of the goal. The goal, if you can, is to lie down when your head touches the pillow. Your body starts to relax. You notice how comfortable it feels. To just, you might have literally just taken your clothes off. You might have taken your socks off, and you've had your socks on all day. And it's nice just to when the air touches the skin of your feet, it can feel quite nice, quite pleasant actually. And my socks usually it's the socks that are happy when they get off my feet. They're like relieved to be away from my smelly feet. But when you lie down, for me also, the idea is when you lie down at night time or whenever you go to sleep, whatever time, is to not think about sleeping. To not be concerned about whether or not you go to sleep or how quickly you go to sleep or anything like that. How much sleep did you get yesterday, and how much sleep do you need tomorrow? And it's about noticing how relaxed you are. It's almost like a separate thing. Like, you can enjoy watching television, you can enjoy eating your breakfast, you can enjoy different parts of the day when you can enjoy, maybe even look forward to doing. So I look forward to having my breakfast. Like, even now, it's only 4:30, and I think about tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, whatever time I wake up, sitting here having my ready brec, cup of tea, watching TV or whatever's on, maybe watching YouTube or watching a TV show. And I like that. I look forward to it. It's a nice moment. It lasts about an hour and a half maybe. It's my little time. Vinny's normally still in bed. It's my little time on my own where I've got the TV down really low so no one else, hopefully Vinny can't hear it. He probably can, but... And that period of time is nice. It's something I look forward to. It's very relaxing. And I don't feel pressured to do anything. No, I don't have to talk to anyone. Don't have to do anything. I don't have to watch television. I don't have to eat the breakfast. I choose to eat the breakfast. So everything's just a choice. But it's very relaxing. and I quite look forward to it. I mean, I'm not like thinking, I'm not on the edge of my seat thinking, I wish I could get this recording done and go to bed early so I can wake up. It's not like it's Christmas morning every morning. Not quite that ridiculous, but I'm not jumping out jumping out of bed like American guy, American guy, is it? American Dad. Jumps out, hello, good morning. No cartwheels, no sparkles. I just get out of bed. So that's like a separate thing. And to me, going to bed is almost and also a separate thing. I lie down on the bed, let my head rest on the pillow. Initially I lie on my back. I don't go to sleep on my back because I have to sleep on my side. But I lie on my back to start with and just notice how relaxed my body feels. Especially my back, my lower back. Just notice how my legs relax, my buttocks, my shoulders, my neck as my head's resting on the pillow. And I'm not concerned about falling asleep. I couldn't care at all about falling asleep, because even though technically that's why I've gone to bed, for me, I've gone to bed to relax. I guess it's a different mindset. I've not gone to bed expecting anything other than to relax. I expect to fall asleep because I do pretty much every night of my life, I guess, apart from when I slept during the day. But it's not something I'm concerned with. It's not something I care about. And that brings me back to the whole idea of not caring. This is way too more serious. This is weird. This is too serious for my Q&A Friday. I'm going to start talking about penguins again in a minute. But to get to that mindset of not caring about anything, not in a selfish way, is it completely different from being selfish? Because you don't even care about yourself. You literally don't care about anything. You let it all fall on the floor. It's almost like you just step out of your own skin. Leave it on the floor, leave it in the other room. You go to bed. It's your little place, your little pod, your little safe space, your safe bubble, whatever you want to call it, where you can just relax, enjoy feeling relaxed. And if you've got your eyes closed, which, unless you enjoy looking at the ceiling, which, sometimes I do. I've got quite a thing about ceilings. But generally, I don't look at the ceiling, especially if it's dark. I can't see the ceiling. I've got itchy bum. Okay, buttock rather. You can just enjoy feeling relaxed, and that's it. There's nothing that you need to do. And when you don't care about anything for that period of time, you just let it go. And I can see different perspectives, and I can almost hear in my brain someone saying, yeah, but this person's unwell, of course I care, I'm thinking about them. And that's the thing. You have to stop caring about everything. It doesn't mean you don't care, okay? I don't know if this concept is even comprehensible to me, I don't know, but you take a break from caring. It doesn't mean you don't care. Of course you You don't stop loving the people you love, but you take a break from thinking about them. You take a break from even, it's almost like they don't exist. Nothing exists. Everything stops for a while. Just for that short period that you're relaxing. And then you fall asleep. And you don't have control over what you think about when you're asleep. I'm not saying that you're controlling what you think about when you're lying in bed, but you're kind of taking a bit of control in the sense of letting go. And that is what I mean when I say let go. Like literally drop everything. And I have literally done that in the past myself, where I've walked away from every single thing, every aspect of my life, where I lived, where I worked, friends, everything. I'm not recommending it, but there's been times when I've had to do that, and there is a relief. The problem with doing that is it's hard to come back to, from that. If you do that in life, you drop every single thing in life. But when you're in bed, you can do it for a period of time. Now, I understand some people might have to have their phone on because a loved one might need their help or whatever. But that's dealt with when it happens. You're not planning ahead, not even 1 minute. Not even 5 seconds ahead. There's no planning. There's no yesterday, no tomorrow, it's not even a now. It's just almost nothing. But peace, calmness. And when you feel it, that slowness in your mind, where there's just nothing going on, there's nothing happening, there's no need for any kind of stimulation or any type of dialogue to be occurring. Because you've given yourself permission to just let go and not care for a while. I guess some would say it's kind of like an emptiness, a peacefulness, calmness, potentially healing. Your body relaxes even more, your mind not only slows down, but maybe comes to a practical standstill. I kind of think I should have done this question at the end, because I'm going to go back to being silly again. Sorry. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Thank you for saying I got a beautiful voice. It's quite weird because when I was reading it out, I was noticing my voice was particularly croaky today. Particularly croaky. What is a good way to de-stress in conjunction? I could have gone silly with the answer for that question, but I thought I'd give a serious answer, because ultimately that is what I'm trying to do. I know I mess about and hopefully it's entertaining, and I can be company maybe to you, like a familiar voice, perhaps even, But I'm also aiming to help. I mean, that in itself can be helpful, but I am, aiming to that the recordings are useful, So yeah, so thanks Hope and Tammy for those two questions, and thanks for saying that I've got a beautiful voice. Ing asks me, how do you oh yeah, by the way, the dog walker I was talking to just looked at me blankly, because I was talking about how I'm just trying to help people, to try to explain to just let go and to not care about anything. And she said, "Oh, I only asked you if you think it's going to rain." So I think it flummoxed her a little bit. Every time I see her now, she runs the opposite direction. But that's nothing new. Ing asks me, how do you manage to put a podcast episode online every day? Does this sometimes stress you out? Do you ever... Wow, I'm very croaky. I think it's the heat. It's croaking me. Let's have a little bit of water. Nice. A nice little sip of warm water from my plastic bottle. Does this sometimes stress you out? Do you ever find it difficult to motivate yourself? Yeah. If I'm not motivated, I just don't do one. Generally, I've realised over the years that there's no point trying to force it, because if I'm in the wrong mood, then I might as well just not make a recording. Because I've, on a few, not many times, but a few occasions, I've made recordings and I've had to abandon them halfway through or just deleted them because I've not been in the correct space, mindset. Really, as far as... It doesn't stress me out making recordings because I know I don't have to. I don't have to do this. I'm not being forced, I'm not being paid to do it. I don't have to. There's no... I don't feel really under pressure. Not really. I mean, the only pressure I'm ever under is the pressure I put myself. And I probably made more recordings this year than I have in any other year. I mean, at this point in the year, So what we 6 months in, nearly 7 months in. What is it, 20th of June? No, 6 months in, sorry. 6 months into the year, nearly. Another 10 days. And I don't think I've ever done as many recordings as this in 6 months before. What, you want me to count how many I've done? Really? I could hear people screaming, no, we don't need you to count them, no. Let me have a look. I've done I'm sure didn't I count them the other day? Didn't I count how many I've done? It won't take long, don't worry. Because although it's a fair amount, it's still not going to be a huge amount. Probably 20 or 30, I don't know. Maybe more. There must be an easier way of doing it than this. I'm just scrolling down, still in April. No, in March now. Still in March. So I don't really feel stressed to make new recordings. I think if anything it's beneficial for me to do it, because without being dramatic, I don't have anything else. This is all I have. This is, other than taking Vinny for, I'm not going to say the word, but taking him out because I have to, there is nothing else that I really am kind of having to do, apart from the basic stuff like, you know, buying food and paying bills. Right, since the 1st of January, 1, 2, 3. I mean, actually, we'll start off the 1st of January. So this is the Let Me Bore You to Sleep. 1,261. So 1,261. And this one is 1,380. So 1,000. What? 1,261. 1,361. So it's 119, including this one. So I've done 119 Let Me Bore You to Sleeps in, well, nearly 6 months. So it's 3, 6, 9, 20. So it's pretty much every day for 4 months, and then 2 months with none. Kind of. It's, I suppose it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yes, I suppose it's 5, 10, 15. So 20 a week, 20 a month, roughly, for the Let Me Bore You to Sleeps, which is like Monday to Friday, every week of the year so far, kind of. So let's have a look at all the others. So it's one, but this is all the other stuff like Let Me Bore Your Pain Away and blah blah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. This is roughly, by the way, I think I might have skimmed a couple. 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, we're up to March now, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 200, 201, 202, 203, 204, 205, 206, 207, 208, 209, 210. So this is roughly, I might have got it wrong. I might have missed a couple, I might have added a couple by accident, because there's a lot. So roughly about 210 recordings so far this year, which is, yeah, I mean, if I do the same, 450, I've never made 450 recordings in a year before. And I don't think I've ever made 210 in less than 6 months. What's my point? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure. I thought I knew what it was, but I don't know now. Oh, blimey, I've had so many messages. What is going on here? Junk mail. I get so much junk mail, it's ridiculous. Oh well. So, yeah, how do I manage to put a podcast episode online every day? I don't know really. Cause I don't. That's the thing. I have been lately. However, I do have periods when I don't make any recordings. There have been times when I've not made recordings for weeks. In the past, even months. I've not gone months for a long time. In fact, I would say I probably haven't gone months probably in the last 8 years. I can't remember the last time I went a few weeks without making a recording. It's got to be a long time ago. I can't even remember the last time I went a whole week. I might have done... I think I did when I lost Andre. I had a week or two where I didn't make any recordings. But also when I lost Luke as well, my friend Luke. So I probably had a time when I couldn't make recordings then as well. Yeah. So the thing is, in the past, if we go back, like before I moved here 10 years ago, even though I'd been doing it for like 9 years, I wasn't doing recordings every day. I mean, there was times when I was, but it was more kind of whenever I felt like it, and I was working, so I didn't always have the energy to do it, or the time, or where I was living was too noisy, so I wasn't as regular as I have been in the last. Ice cream van. Don't know if you can hear the background sound. I'm sure the music's getting louder. Ice cream van. I'm quite pleased with how I've been able to post recording every day, nearly every day, and well, more than one a day recently. But I've never sustained making multiple recordings per day for any amount length of time. I mean, this is the third recording today. I did 4 yesterday. There's a chance I might make another one later on before I go to bed, but probably not. I don't know, depends. I might do. Sometimes it's a case of I get a little bit of inspiration for, like with the podcast. Let's have a look. What's it called? I should know the name of my podcast, shouldn't I? Really. Relaxation for stress and panic attacks. That podcast, and I've got how many different episodes? 243 different episodes. That one is, some of the recordings are short, but it's just an idea I've had. Like, I had an idea of using a flamethrower on an ice sculpture of the word stress and melting it, and then that turned into a biscuit shaped stress and a dog eating it, and then the stress being pooed out. I don't know why I always seem to go that direction. But I had another one called Blowing Bubbles, and that's based upon the whole idea of, especially for kids really, to be honest, but by blowing out, if you blow through a tube, blowing the bubble, that is a way to calm the breathing without focusing on the breathing. And it's fun, especially for a kid. Well, it's fun I think I would argue that blowing bubbles can potentially be fun for anyone. And I talked about my own experiences, and how even though controlling breathing is almost, if you look at any book, whether it's stress relief or anxiety, or recordings, most of them seem to focus on breathing techniques. Even hypnosis recordings focusing on breathing techniques to start with. I don't do that generally, because for me it's about relaxing, but kind of going slow with it. And what I noticed is, the more you relax, the slower your breathing becomes naturally, and becomes deeper as well. But it's just a natural process. And I also realised in my own experience with anxiety and panic attacks and stuff like that, the last thing in the world I wanted to do was focus on my breathing. I was too self-conscious of it at that time anyway. I needed a distraction from that. So, breathing out, maybe due to hyperventilation, breathing out is obviously it's a good thing, isn't it? Because you're breathing in too much. But if you start blowing bubbles, breathing, or you could technically blow up some balloons. That's another thing you could do, I guess. But I'd probably choose to blow bubbles than blow up balloons. It's more fun. I mean, technically you've got the balloons at the end of it, so you've got something to show for it, because with the bubbles they do pop, don't they? But it's just a more natural, especially probably for children, it's a more natural way of getting them to breathe out more than they're breathing in. That then evens out the breathing. And this is based in science as well, because I did a little bit of research for this. So this isn't just like something that I just thought up and thought to myself. But it gave me an idea to do a recording on it. And it's those kind of moments that I really enjoy when I just have an idea and I think, ooh, like the ice kettle anger release, or ways to disrupt worrying. I mean, I started doing these years ago. I'm just looking through it, and I was doing it for a while. I was doing them every day. So I don't even have the date when I first started, but it was, I didn't give the names for the first 35, I think 36, 40, okay, no, 59, 70. It didn't have any kind of title. Oh yeah, I did. I started doing it. Okay, number 70, safe space, model plane, sounds. So there's different ones. I had smiley mirror, meaning and purpose, web page, ball or sock, silly song. That was a good one. You should check that one out. It's very silly. Bath floater. That's another good one. I think it was quite funny. So it's just, and these are short. They're like 15 minutes long. Some of them are like an hour. But usually, well, I'll tell you a secret. Sometimes I have a tendency to talk a lot. But some of these titles are pretty good. Question automatic thinking. Evict self-prejudice. Brain plasticity. So that was 21st of February 2020. That's when I started putting dates on them. So in 2020, February, or January actually, January. Okay, right, so number 53, 8th of September 2019. So I started doing these relaxation hypnosis for stress, anxiety and panic attacks in probably 2015, probably. It was one of the first, probably maybe 2016. It's one of the first ones I did when I moved in here. Because I remember I did it, I actually made some videos. I think I did 32 videos. And I had them on YouTube, and I made podcasts, and I had proper microphones and stuff. It was the first time I'd really tried that out. Vice Grip No Mass. That's another one, that was good. That's nearly an hour long. See, some of these are some of the recordings that I felt were really good. Not like good, like ooh, but ooh, whatever that means. But just like, yeah, quite creative, and because I used to do it with this little microphone that was attached, like a lapel microphone. The quality of the sound isn't perfect, to be honest. I mean, it's probably never going to be perfect, but it was okay for what I was doing, because I was standing up talking. And if you remember, this was during 2000, 20, you know, and I was doing a lot in January, February, March, April 2020. So there was a lot going on in that time of, in the world back then. So I guess I was just trying to put out a little bit of love, maybe, a little bit of relaxation, a bit of healing. And yeah, so I did these very, very regularly. 19th of June, 17th of June, 21st, 22nd of June, 23rd of June, 24th, 25th, 29th, 2nd of July, 2 on the 2nd of July, 3rd of July, 5th, 7th of July, 13th of July, 5 years ago, 16th, 2 on the same date. So you see what I mean? It was like, there was dates, it wasn't every day, but sometimes it was a few days in a row. And I ended up doing, so far, got up to, oh, what's going on there? That's weird. Go away. Stop it. 243. Over 9 years, I suppose, really. But there was quite a different, there was a bit of a gap between when I started doing them and I finished doing them. Did that answer the question? I don't know. What was the question now? What was the question? Oh, okay, I think I have. So, yeah, thanks, Ing. Ali asks, do you ever miss washing your hair? How rude. Also curious about your take on poetry, both reading and writing. Well, I do still wash my hair, even though it's receding. And I do shave it, but I don't shave it to the bone. I kind of trim it, if you know what I mean. So I do still wash, because I've still got hair follicles, and I do still wash my hair when I'm in the shower. Even, it's going to sound weird, even when I used to shave my head all the way to the bone, like completely, to the scalp, I still used to wash my scalp. It just, I don't know, it just felt like there's something I should do. So yeah, I do still wash. So even if I was bald, I'd still wash my hair, even if I was completely bald. However weird that might sound, I probably would still wash my head. Yeah. Maybe it's a weird thing to do. I'm not sure. Curious about your take on poetry, both reading and writing. I used to write poetry when I was a kid. I suppose I was more into songs, but I wrote poetry at various times all the way through my 20s. And then I kind of stopped. Yeah, I used to be quite into poetry, but probably not traditional poetry. I was very into beat poetry, which was, also I was quite into Buddhist poetry as well. But this was like the early 90s. I became very interested in the Beat generation. Like Allen Ginsberg, he did a book. It was basically a poem called Howl, and I can't say I enjoyed the book, to be honest, but he was a big name in they were all on drugs, basically, writing and doing all kinds of stuff. But some of it really I liked. And one of my favourite poets, and also he was a writer, was Charles Bukowski. And there's something about the realism I liked, the non-floweriness of him. I'm not quite sure how to explain it. And he didn't care about rhyming. And that was the first time, really, I think that was the first time that when I discovered the Beat generation, that I realised that not all poems rhyme. All rhymes rhyme, but not all poems rhyme. Not all rhymes poem. And it threw me off a little bit, because I was always a rhymer. My poems generally always rhymed. And realising, and I think that was more to do with, I guess I was, when I was probably from the age of 8, I used to write lyrics, songs, song lyrics, so they kind of had to rhyme, really. But in the early 90s, I'm talking like 92, 93, 94, I got really into the Beat Generation poets. Not just them, I did read other poetry as well. Not, I wouldn't say I'm particularly a fan of poetry. I think, because I'm able to express myself. I don't really feel I need someone else to express how I feel, if that makes any kind of weird sense. And I think with poetry, just as in books, and you see it on Facebook posts, people posting something that someone else has written, they're like, this is how I feel. Like, well, just tell me how you feel. Write down how you feel, instead of just posting what someone else has written. And I'm kind of that way. If I'm gonna, maybe I've not always been able to do that, and maybe I don't do it very well as well, also. But I value the idea of being able to just express myself with, I'm not sure if this is making any sense. I'm not putting down poetry at all, because it's something that I was never particularly any good at, but I think that's a good thing about poetry, is once I discovered that it doesn't have to rhyme, I also discovered that it doesn't have to be good. And then I discovered that actually what's good for one person is not necessarily good for another person. Because I was growing up, I was still early 20s. It took a lot of learning to realise that different people felt differently about different things, and I kind of knew, but it's still an education. I'm still amazed, really, how polarized people's opinions can be sometimes. Like, so different about the same subject. It's almost like I see it on boxing forums on Facebook, and someone will post something nice, and then someone will post something that really just goes completely the other way. And I'm like, what? Why? What? Woo? Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about boxing. So I would have liked to have been good with I think with writing, I'm a reader rather than a writer. With poetry, possibly a bit of both. I don't do either at the moment. I used to write, but I used to write journals. I've discovered in more recent years that my writing is verbal. My creativity is verbal. It's not writing down on a piece of paper or typing on a screen, typing on a laptop or whatever. It's just me talking. Whether it's whether it's a good thing or not, this is my way of expressing myself. And I think something that happened, I don't know, years ago, is it probably first started happening probably, well, it happened when I was a kid, but it was harder back then. But then when I was probably late teens, I started to realise that gradually my how I felt, my thoughts were just as valid as other people's thoughts. What I had to say was just as valid as theirs. It didn't mean that I was right, or that they were right, or that they were wrong, or that I was wrong. But it's equal. However, it was difficult back then because I was around a lot of older people, and I found that a lot of them were treating me like a young person, talking down to me, almost telling me how things should be. But over time, I guess once I got to my 20s, I was reading a lot more, and I was kind of educating myself. And I was starting to realise, getting to know myself, I suppose. It's taken decades to even get to where I am now, and I'm not sure where I am. I know where I am, but I'm not sure what kind of progression I've made. And is this the most serious Q&A Friday ever? I do apologise. Yeah, that point, and this is something that I've thought about back then, is like, without getting into an argument with someone, so, and I know sometimes it is just opinions, but my opinion is as valid as anyone else's, okay, regardless of how ridiculous it might be at times. But I also realised as I got older that I don't hold opinions that highly. And I realised that over time that having restrictive, unmovable beliefs in some ways can be really helpful, but in other ways maybe not so much. So I think I spent the last probably 20 years slowly and, trying to reduce my beliefs, reduce my limited thinking. And there is a lot of I do have a lot of limited thinking. My brain, my brain is definitely not wired correctly, which is fine, but it's made life difficult. Wow, my stomach's been gurgling for 2 days now when I'm hungry. Never used to gurgle. Well, maybe it's always gurgled, I've just not noticed it before. But I've tried to, so I think what's helped is I've been around people that have different belief systems to me, like completely different. And I know some people I've seen on Facebook, if you support that politician, then we're not friends, that kind of stuff. Like, okay, I don't get that. I really don't, because I just don't. And if I wasn't friends with people that had different opinions to me, I literally would not have any friends. because I don't know anyone that has the same viewpoints as myself generally. Maybe some, but not like, there's always, I mean, I was speaking to someone the other day, and it's amazing. They came out with something that was outrageous. Like, outrageous. But they weren't joking. That's the thing. And I was like, wow, okay. But I didn't care. 30 years ago, I might have had something to say. But, no, it don't matter. I just laughed. Because everyone can believe what they want to believe. I can't control what other people think. And there's a kind of peacefulness in that, I think. Kind of a sense of relaxation. And again, letting go. Realising that I'm only really responsible for what I think. Yeah, man. Wow, this has got deep. I'll give you the... If for those that don't know, I used to write songs, okay, when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way up to 15. Well, all the way up to... The last one I did, I was 30. So I've written a few songs, even recorded a few songs. Not professionally, but with a professional musician. But not in a actual studio, But the lyrics of my first song was called Mandy, and I recorded that when I was 8 or 9. Mandy Baby, it's basically, there's a girl that I met at a caravan park, and I fell in love with her. We spent one day together. I think we used to run around pulling each other's hair and running off again, and chucking sand at each other, things like that. And then she left, and so I realised I loved her forever. So I wrote a song, Mandy, it's called. Mandy baby, listen to me. Mandy baby, I want you to see. Mandy dear, I want you to hear. I don't want a single tear. I love you baby, Mandy I do. I just want to know if you love me too. Just say something, I want to know. Just say something like hello. Oh Mandy, I love you. That's a lot more enthusiastic when I sing it, or when I used to sing it. Like, Mandy baby, listen to me. Okay, I'm not going to sing it now. I did another one. It was like, do you really have to go and leave me in great sorrow? Do you really have to leave and say goodbye to me without affection? I will definitely miss your tender loving kiss. I mean, I can't think I'd even kissed a girl at that point. So that was another song. I can't remember that. There was another one called Sarah. This is about a girl I was in love with when I was about 14. Sarah baby, listen to me. Sarah baby, I want you to see. No, it was a different song. So, dear Sarah, how do you do? Hope you're missing me the way I'm missing you. She didn't even like me. I don't know what, she didn't miss me. She wasn't interested in me. She told me to go away. But hey, anyway. Dear Sarah, how do you do? Hope you're missing me the way I'm missing you. Do you think about me in your dreams? If you do, think about out what it seems. Okay, just it's bad, So think about what it means. Feelings are not always shown during the day, but when you go to sleep, all your worries or your problems drift away, then your feelings start to arise. Showing something that you didn't realise. It's quite deep actually for my age, really. Feelings are not always shown during the day, but when you go to sleep, all your worries drift away. Then your feelings start to arise, showing something that you didn't realise. I love you, Sarah. I love you. I really do. There's nothing I can do. Something else like, oh, Sarah, I love you. So that was what I did when I was a kid. And then when I was about 26, I did a song called I Miss You. So if I can remember the words of this one. I miss the way the chorus was, I wish you'd come back to me. I wish you'd come back to me. I wish you'd be part of my world. I miss you endlessly. Won't you please be my girl? I'll be the best I can be. I'll be the best I can be. Letting you know just how I feel. And letting you know that my love is real. Something like that. But it was like, I miss you. I miss the way I touch your fingertips with my lips, or something like that. So there was that one. And I do the Tuesday song, which was I wonder why. What was it? I wish you'd come back to me. Wish you'd be part of my world. I'd kiss you endlessly and show you that let me be your girl. I do. Show you just how much I feel. Whatever, that was that one. What was it? I wonder why you had to leave and take my heart away from me. I wonder why you had to leave and take my heart away from me. Why did you lie to me? And then there's a chorus. Don't you worry, you never do, 'cause someday I'll get over you. Something like that. And then there's another bit, that's like the bridge. Then there's a chorus. Wow, yeah. I can't remember what the Tuesday song was. It was I think it was the 8-hour Tuesday song, or 8-hour epic song, because I spent 8 hours recording it. Because what I used to do is go around my cousins, and my cousin's dad, kind of my uncle, he was a professional musician in a band, and he played the guitar, and he'd been doing it for decades. He had recording equipment and everything, used musical instruments, keyboards, computers, 8-track, whatever, to record stuff. So we did Ticket to Ride. That was one of the first things we ever did, which was the Beatles song. Did the UB40, If You Don't Know Me By Now. If you don't know me by now. That came out quite nice. And then I did the I Miss You, went round there because I'd split up with my girlfriend and I wanted to get back together with her for some reason. So I wrote that song. Oh, the next one was called I Wrote You a Song. Okay, so I wrote the song I Miss You, and then I wrote a song about having written the song, which is called I Wrote You a Song. And it was like, I wrote you a song, it took quite a long time, I played it to you. This is not, it was sung better than this way. And all you did was look out of the window and sigh. It took a long time to write the effing thing, but you just didn't care at all. And then this is the chorus. Why did I bother? Why did I try? Why did I even take the time? Why did I bother? Why did I try to write this song for you? 'Cause it didn't even play on your mind, or something like that. And then I did another one. I wonder, I wonder, wonder why you had to leave and take my heart away from me. But don't you worry, you never did, 'cause somewhere, oh, you never do, somewhere in love with you. Yeah, blimey. And there was another one as well, I can't remember. So I think I did 4 songs with music and, you know, proper microphones and stuff. And my cousin was embarrassed by them. So I actually posted them on Facebook probably about 10 years ago, and he said, please take them off. Because he helped also produce them, because he was on the keyboard and stuff. And I thought they were good. I know that the quality was terrible because they were old. You know, 96, 97, that's a long time ago. And very fuzzy. They were saved on a tape, you know, like a normal tape, not digital or anything. I guess they just meant a lot to me. But I guess that was my poetry. That was me trying to do poetry, and I loved singing. I wanted to be a singer. It's probably the thing I wanted most of all, of anything I've ever wanted to do. Probably was to be a singer. It's not going to happen because I can't really sing anymore. But I used to be able to sing quite well, and I kind of wish I pursued it a little bit. I mean, you know, I entered talent contests. I never won a talent contest, singing contest, but at the same time, I never got kicked off. I never got booed. I guess I was mediocre. I could hold a note, and I was okay. You know, I think I was better with songs that I wrote, because technically they can't be out of key. Really, if it's your own song, if you listen to some Beatles songs, there's a few that are a little bit off key, like a bit of John Lennon singing, and it's kind of off a little bit. But it doesn't matter because that's what makes them so good. I'm not saying he was singing out of key, but it was kind of, I just did, didn't I? You'll dodge your mess with a John Lennon. No, it's some, you know, it was recorded, and some of the earlier stuff was recorded quickly. You can hear it's almost live. It's recorded, and then they rushed it out and sold it, and you can hear, and that's why it's so good, because it was not polished. The early stuff wasn't polished like the later stuff. You know, if you go to the later stuff, it was, other than probably at the time, there wasn't many albums, many groups putting that much effort into production quality as they did with Sgt. Pepper or the last album they did. How did they get talking about the Beatles? I don't know. So yeah, I did quite like the idea of writing poems. I did write what I thought was a really good poem once about my childhood, and I wrote it probably early 90s. I got back into writing poetry in 95. It kind of helped me get through some stuff. But what I used to find is I'd always end up going a little bit silly with it and almost finding like a funny line here and there. So I guess that's just part of me. And I wasn't setting out to do a funny poem. So it'd be kind of serious, and then it'd be silly, a little silly bit at the end, or maybe in the middle. And I quite liked them. I wish I'd kept them. If I'd have kept all my poems I'd ever written, there might not be a lot, but it's probably about 50, maybe 100, maybe more, maybe much more than that. But over the years. Oh well, never mind, eh? Yeah, I think that's the end of the recording. I don't know how long I've been talking for. Still light outside. Not that that really means too much, because it's light till about 10 o'clock, I think. It's 5:35 p.m. So this does bring me to the end of this recording. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Hope, Tammy, Ing and Ali, for your questions. I hope I've answered them. I'm not sure if I have. I might have slightly gone off track. It's possible. It may have happened once or twice before. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy, and be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.